I will come back and get you. Thank you, Madison.
No problem. Okay, so right now I am writing a paper on childhood obesity for this research analysis. Normally the first thing I do is I go to Google. I think a lot of people do. So I'll type in childhood obesity and I just see what results I get for it. Sometimes a lot of the results that I see on the top I don't usually rely on them as much. I just kind of sift through and see what seems like the most reliable article I can find on childhood obesity. So I think the topic I want to just talk about is why childhood obesity is so prevalent in the United States. So normally I write down with pen and paper my research, but today I'll use Microsoft Word in order to get my information down. And I think it's good later to write it down on Microsoft Word because I'll be writing it so I can refer back to it without having to waste paper or anything like that. So I'm going back to Google Chrome and I will find different sentences of information that I can use. It'll be a little weird talking about what kind of information I'm pulling from because normally I don't talk while I'm doing research, but so this is an interesting sentence. Today, about 1 in 3 American kids and teens is overweight or obese, nearly triple the rate in 1963. So I will Control C, Max, I'll Command C, and then copy and paste it into Word. I also need to get the source. So I need to copy and paste the source into where I got that from. Normally I put the source at the top and then I have it on the bottom so I know where I got it from. Let's see. Okay, I'm trying to delete that. And then I try to look up the article name as well. What is childhood obesity? I guess that'd be the article name. I don't know who the author is, but sometimes if when I have to cite this later for in a bibliography, I will go to EasyBib, something like that, in order to cite it. So in that, sometimes it pulls up a. Oops. Sometimes it pulls up a author, but I messed up. Okay, going back because I don't have the URL anymore. Oh God, I'm so bad. Okay, here we go. Go back to easybib.com, command, and then cite it, and then continue to the final step. This is what I use. I know probably shouldn't, but I don't really know. It doesn't have the author or the publisher, so it's not. I don't know if it's too reliable, but I use it anyway. Okay. And then I know I recently learned about Google Scholar, and you can go to these blocks up here and get even more from Google. But I'm not really used to using Google Scholar. I think most of the information I get does just come from Google. I've never really used scholarly review journals for any research papers that I had to do in high school. So there's a lot of good information I can get from the Google Scholar. And in high school, we also had to learn how to use the library database. So I can use the library. I don't know if I want to do it on here. I will go to my D2L Brightspace because I have to log into there in order to get to the library. Oh god. Okay. I'm just gonna look up childhood obesity on here. I'm not trying to look on your thing. I'm so sorry, Professor. So there's a bunch of different information on here as well. And so recently I learned that I can move this forward in order to find more recent articles. I probably want to go back to the 1940s because childhood obesity recently became prevalent. A lot of kids stayed outside. A lot of children are, that's another topic. I can look up how video games and movies and TV affected childhood obesity, not just eating a lot. And then I will also go here and just pick academic journals instead of pulling up magazines and videos and all kinds of different items. Let's see, so I have I don't really know if I want to use video games, so I'll use childhood obesity and I guess and video games. So search, and I should pull up some different types of articles. The role of ergonomics in designing and helping to control childhood obesity through physical and functional exercise programs. So we're not getting enough exercise. So I will pull up the PDF full text any minute, and I will just skim through here, and I try to read quickly. Normally at the very beginning, you read your introduction, and you don't have to, you see different kind of tables on here. But mostly you just have to read the beginning, skim through the middle, and then read the ending, because that's where most of the meat is for the research that you have to pull from. So in the area of design and physiotherapy, the using of virtual technologies for immersion of users are spreading, and this affirmation extends to several areas of knowledge and games. The quote is, resources are being used to work cognitive skills, attention, memory, among other factors besides the children. At the expense of usability, low cost, virtual technologies of perception and interaction as Nintendo Wii, Xbox 360, among others, rises before a new class of, which is the union of physical activity. Fact is, yours is a development of sensory introduction. According to the researcher, statistics show that the occurrence of childhood obesity is increasing every day throughout the world. And Brazil, the incidence has shown an alarming advance. In addition to possible medical complications of obesity, with the increasing call on aesthetics, the implication of the self-esteem in children has also been a worrying factor. So now we're getting into our statistics according to in box 10. Research with children and adolescents. Nearly 98% of children who are considered fat do not exhibit any kind of hormonal disorder, despite the genetic factor is of paramount importance. In general, the major cause of childhood obesity is still physical inactivity and sedentary lifestyle. I will use that as a quote for a research paper that I will be writing. I'm going to go ahead and, oops, how do I exit out? I don't want to use that. So I'm going to just go ahead and paste that because I want to use it, and then I'm going to go back and write down the role of ergonomics. So this is the title, and then I'll write the author. I'm just trying to keep it clean. This is normally what I do. I don't know if it's the correct way or not, but it's how I work, and I'm just organizing it really quick. I'm still trying to get used to speaking aloud while I'm doing my research. I want to bold this so I can separate it from the others. Okay, so I still have this open, this open. I'm going to close this. Oops. And it's all of these different authors. So I'm going I'm assuming, yeah, this is taking place in Brazil, so I don't know if it's a credible source, but it does show that it's not just in America where childhood obesity has become an issue. I'm going to put quotation marks around the quote that I want to use. I just try to get the general picture. I know I should probably be writing summaries about it, but I don't. The practice of any exercise requires an expenditure of energy that, when properly directed, can be easily used in weight control. So I'm different for those exercises. Let me get in front of. Okay, so here's the main point that they're trying to make in their article. This article aims to present the state-of-the-art project developed in the master and the design area to create digital games. So this has nothing to do with what I want to talk about. So I'm going to not use this, but I'm just going to keep the article in case I want to come back to it later, just in case. So let me paste this. And then I'm going back because I don't really want to use that. The impact of active. So these are all active video games as a tool to prevent. Is exergaming a viable tool? Introduction of active video gaming. Exercise used in the Wii Fit. Okay, so this one looks interesting. Children and adolescents in the United States and in many countries are projected to have shorter lifespans than their parents, partly because of the obesity crisis engulfing the developed world. Exposure to electronic media is often implicated in this crisis because media use, including electronic gameplay, may promote. So this is the article that I want to use because it is pulling from the point that I'm trying to make about video gaming. I'm sitting for a long time, eating while playing video games. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this onto my Word document for later, just so I have something to come back to so I know what I'm talking about. Let's see, Sandra L. Calvert. I'm going to bold this so it's separated. It's a new one. Okay, and I'm going to skim through it really quick. Electronic games, however, may increase children's physical activity and expose them. What? Oh, this is more favorite. I can't. This is not what I wanted to do. I can still skim through it and see if there's anything that I can pull from it, even though it's talking about favorable health outcomes thanks to electronic video gaming. Let's see. In 3 short decades, U.S. pediatric obesity rate has tripled from 7% in 1980 to 20% in 2008. Escalating obesity rates are not likely caused by genetic factors alone in such a short time frame, implicating the environment as a major contributor to this health crisis. 2 environmental factors have been implicated as causing obesity involve the consumption of high-fat, low-nutrient food and the sedentary lifestyle that is now common in our nation from watching so much television and playing sedentary video games. And they pulled that quote for something else. I don't know. I guess I don't know if I can use it, but I can still pull the information. I have Tourette's. Okay. Let me quote that. And then go back. Let's see. Media exposure, particularly to television advertising, has been linked to childhood food preferences and consumption of high-fat and low-nutrient food. And they're using Vandewater and Cummings. So I can probably, wonder if I can look them up, Vandewater and Cummings. I'd probably do Vandewater and childhood, obesity. So that pulled up a good amount of information to use. I'm gonna click on this. I don't like Google Scholar as much because some of the things that I want to use they, either sometimes you have to purchase a subscription to the website, or it'll give you just a small amount of text from what they're offering for you. But this one looks good. Childhood obesity, but I can't copy and paste. Let's see, so I'd probably have to pull this to the side and make it a little smaller. I take my time while I'm researching. I do a lot of different things. It takes me a long time to do this. Hi.
We're done.
Okay.
That's it.
So what I will do is just keep the screen the same,
Okay.
and I'll come in and stop the recording.